Hey. And we're live. Yeah, we got a new tech guy. He's just kind of learning the system here.
But we're back with the tech guy. So anything that happens that goes bad, let it happen. We also got an Instagram up and running. So drop us a follow there. Don't forget to subscribe to the Notebook Podcast. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
We got to plug that a lot more.
Our tech guy will pop it up on the screen for you. Instagram.com.
We're not sure if it's
Notebook
working.
Podcast.
He's going to do his best today. But how's it been, dude?
Yeah, dude. How you doing, man?
You've got a lot going on in your life.
We've both got a lot going on in our lives.
I don't know if I would say I do, but Matt's a carpenter now. He put together half of the kitchen. He put together half of the kitchen at the house. I'd love for somebody to pull that up on Matt's Instagram. We could see what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Trill took some videos.
She's been sick. MIA.
What else?
We hired some contractors when we first got the house. Let's just say it didn't go great. So we fired them and now we're just doing it ourselves. But yeah, I'm just kind of going left to right. So I'm worried that when I get to the right side, I might not
that's where it gets more
be against the wall.
It might not fit.
And then I'm fucked. Ooh, that was another good thing. What if he measured it wrong?
And
the last cabinet didn't fit.
We'd have to remove a cabinet and put like a wood shelving or something.
Yeah.
How fucked would that be? I mean, it's probably better, or you just have to put a new cabinet somewhere else in some weird fucking appliance. But yeah.
So icebreaker, dude.
Icebreaker, what do you got for us?
What is your go-to coffee right now?
My go-to coffee.
Like style of brew.
Typically, it depends on time of day. You know how I am with calories and gaining weight. So I typically just go a long black drink.
Can you explain to the viewers?
Yeah, a long black, guys. It's really intricate coffee. So it's like the Americano. If you're familiar with the Americano, which is, I feel like we've talked about this before. But I do a long black. So it's you water first, then you pour the espresso shot freshly on it from the machine, and then it leaves the crema on top. Doesn't kill it, quote unquote, has better flavor or tasting notes. Not sure. I think it tastes good. When I was in Australia, that's what I would have all the time, was just long blacks or short blacks. I think a short black is less water, more espresso, so it was a more heavier concentrated.
Yeah.
Water was like 5-1 for a long black. So to be 18 grams of espresso or 36 milliliters or whatever you want to call it times 5. But
mine is the same. Doing long blacks. I was doing Americanos before, but then I had this thought in my head that when I pour the coffee into the cup first, would cool it. So I was like, I might as well do the hot water first and then pull the shot.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah. Jesus. You're hot, dude. Chat, how do we sound today? Do we sound good? Do we sound bad? Do I sound loud enough? Is Matt too loud? Like, throw it in the chat. We got 5 comments. Matt, pull the comment chart up.
Yeah. The funny thing is we're using the same mic.
We are?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like you and I have the same
like
the branded model. But
yeah.
Apparently mine's a little hot.
Gotcha. Some guy. We got a lot of people fucking whoa. Sorry guys, I just fucked with our new desk. So I'll just shimmy towards Matt.
So if any guests pop in, our tech guy will drop the link here in the comments to the show. Hopefully he remembers how to do that. If not, we can always do it.
Trill doesn't like the icebreaker. So let's talk about icebreakers. Let's just do some icebreakers.
Okay.
Let's just, what's your favorite icebreaker, chat? What do we like? So my favorite ones, or least favorite ones that we do, we used to do it like we do it at the gym. Not at my gym, but like seminars that I've gone to, was always, wait, dude, your beard's fucking even like mine was last week.
Well, someone would tell me that earlier when I shaved it.
We got a private chat. Can you check out? We need to figure out a desk. I mean, we don't have an icebreaker today. The focus.
My icebreaker wasn't good. But that's going to be the icebreaker for all the guests that come on too. What coffee they drink.
What coffee do they drink?
You and I are just boring. It's just literally coffee and water.
Yeah, coffee and water. But
some people do like the Starbucks order of like, I get 2 pumps.
That's not a real coffee though. Would you think?
I don't like to be snobbish on coffee. I mean, you like what you like.
You like what you like, but it's like, you're literally drinking a little bit of espresso mixed with some other stuff.
Which leads me into fun fact about coffee that I just found out today. Did you know that Starbucks has the least amount of caffeine in their coffee?
Why is that?
Just the beans they're using. They're probably low quality, but there was a group in London that were studying coffees, so the 3 chains, and I think a shot of Starbucks espresso has 36 milligrams
Of espresso of caffeine.
Caffeine, that's it.
And it's typically 100.
Yeah, I
100
think
plus, right?
Another big chain is like Costa or whatever, but they had like 132. I could pull the statistics up, but yeah, and then that's the same throughout. So like their pour over, their filtered coffee,
Yeah.
same thing. There's really not that much caffeine in
Interesting.
it. So to Rick's point, when he says that Starbucks messes him up, sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
There's like nothing in it.
Pull it up. Just a statistic.
I could forward it to the tech guy, but
He's got
here's
it.
this little chart. See that?
Oh, wow.
This is Starbucks down here. So a shot of espresso, 33 milligrams. In Pret, 180. In Greg's, 75. In Costa, 100. And in Cafe Nero, 45. These are all like UK
brands. Yeah, so if they're doing that, the dog wants to come in. Today's just a debacle in the studio. The sun's in our face. The dog scratching at the door. So what's our espresso have?
I think ours is pretty high.
Yeah, how do we figure that out?
You have to get one of those caffeine monitor things, that you pour it into.
Yeah, you pour it in and kind of gives you the fucking spit back.
But yeah, what's going on?
Got some text messages from the viewers. Podcast is now, Shannon. Podcast is live. She said she's invested. Go to our YouTube link. Got like a glare from the fucking sun. And we need curtains. I'm sure my fucking sound got shitty there. Last week's topic, I kind of liked it.
Okay.
I don't think we dug into it deep enough. Decision making.
Let's do it.
But what do we?
Speaking of decisions, what's the status on your Tesla, dude?
I did buy the Tesla. No one knows where it is. He told me it was going to get delivered yesterday.
Well, so part of your decision process, we talked about persuasion, and it sounded like someone gave you a call.
Yeah,
in the week.
So I got a call later in the week, threw me off for a loop. So we'll dig into that. Maybe we could talk about me a little bit personally. Decision making. The question is, why do I get persuaded easily? I don't even know if it's persuaded because I wasn't like, oh fuck, like I need to do exactly what this person says. It's more of like somebody said something to me and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's more of like
it was a little deeper than that.
Well, yeah,
it was like a mood shift and then questioning your decision.
Yeah. Well,
I would agree with you in the fact that like you weren't gonna just fully take his advice, but it definitely threw you for a loop.
Yeah, there was a lot of persuasion involved within that. I don't really know exactly what. That guy, we need 2 screens here. We got the links there for StreamYards. A couple different things. So got the Tesla, went with a used one. Okay, I'll explain why. Well, who buys? I've never bought a new car. Have you?
So wait, first of all, 2 decisions then.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting rid of the old car. That's decision 1.
Decision 1, and you went with me to get rid of that. Yeah, so I got a Tesla. I had a Subaru Outback. Me and Matt went to CarMax the other day. He claims it was the easiest goodbye to something that he's seen, I guess. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, I mean, we could dig into that too. So first of all, did you even like your old car?
No, I hated it. Jesse made me get it because it was I was telling Kendall this yesterday. I was forced into getting a car. I had the Jeep prior to that, and transmission was gone, so we sold it to Carvana. Quickly made some money on it, and then it was like, all right, I have time. I will drive Fabian's car, whoever's car I need to get to work and shit. So we got rid of that. Got stuck with the Subaru because it was during like the used car and new car crisis where there was like literally they were stuck on ships in the middle of the ocean and no one could get them. So I had to buy a car. So Jesse looked and looked and looked and looked. And you know how he is. He looks for what he wants somebody to get. Yeah, we've seen him on here. We've heard him talk. I feel like, chat, this is like, you can see the reflection and it's pissing me off. So we buy the Subaru, the Outback. We like to call.
Hold on. All right, so let's dig in here. Yeah. So did you go to the dealership?
He just kept sending me links, and he found this one.
Private?
No, it was at a dealership, yeah. But he found it at one of the dealers that he knew somebody at. So he hits this guy up. He's like, yo, my buddy's coming. Help him get a good interest rate, yada, yada, yada. This was when interest rates were low. And so my like last car interest rate for this one was like a 3.2.
Yeah.
Like really low interest rate. Like I think throughout the year, it was like $400 worth of interest. if you like break it down when you do the math, like car payments and so on and so on and so on. So we get stuck with the Subaru, basic silver. Like Eric's is better than mine. The colors.
But you didn't have to deal with a sales guy.
Now Jesse did everything via phone. He's like, "Hey, my buddy's coming in.
So wait,
let him drive this car."
Over there and picked it up.
Yeah, it was like basically
nice,
he was like, let him drive this car. He's gonna come over, get him a good interest rate, find him a good bank. Here's the ones that I want you to pull and go for it. The guy was like, okay. So I stroll in, shake the guy's hand. He's like, let's go drive it. It was sitting out front waiting. Drove around the block. The guy's trying to sell it to me the whole time. He's like,
oh really? So you did have to deal with a little bit of that.
Not sell it to me. He's trying to like convince me that I like it.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, I need a fucking car.
That's where the persuasion.
Yeah. So we're driving, and I'm driving. And it was down to like the wire. It was like, all right, well, I need to get this. Trying to open a gym. Can't spend a lot of money on something. The car wasn't cheap. I mean, it's above 20,000.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was cheap. But at the time, I still wanted a Tesla. Jesse told me no. Actually, there was two cars I wanted. I wanted a Tesla or the FJ Cruiser from Toyota.
I like the FJ Cruiser.
So Fabian had the FJ Cruiser.
Two-door.
Yeah. But they're dope. I drove Fabians around for about a month. Super fucking cool car.
Yeah, like instead of a convertible,
yeah.
Like, you know, some dudes get for the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Convertible, I would get an FJ.
Yeah,
Cruiser.
they're like, they don't make them anymore.
I know.
Gee, if you could pull an FJ Cruiser up,
Trill and I got stuck in the snow once in Rainier with the truck.
Yeah.
And we were like fucked, and it was snowing. I don't even know why we went out. We went off-roading in the snow because we're dumb. And these two kids roll up in an FJ and pulled out the truck. And I was like, oh,
there's
man.
the FJ Cruiser. They're sick. They're literally like, if you don't know what an FJ Cruiser is, it's basically
Toyota's Jeep.
Jeep, but they have the same exact issues. Like Fabians, I was going to buy Fabians as a used one. He was going to sell it to me for like 10,000. He bought it for like 14. He was like, and Fabian's always trying to help me. Good
when
dude.
Did you start calling him Fabian?
After
Eric?
No, I think I
used
just
to call him Fabian.
Yeah. And then at some point, it just like clicked in my head where I was just being disrespectful and not calling him by his actual name.
Actually, it's just a Lombardi trait. Like,
yeah, we just
Luke and I get the wrong name in our head.
It just sticks. It sticks that way. It's like when we did the coaching development thing, and I called the one girl whatever I kept calling her.
Except for Kendall, she has like 7 different names. I realized when I was coaching her yesterday. I called her Kennedy, Kendi, Kendall.
Bunch of shit.
We haven't called her Ken yet. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I don't know if that's acceptable. But all right, so back to the FJ Cruiser. So I'm driving the FJ Cruiser. Decisions now. I listen to what somebody else tells me to do, though. So
you did drive the FJ Cruiser?
Yeah, for about a month. Fabian let me just use it to get around town. Dope. Yeah, it's fucking sick. Yeah. Huge. Like the amount of gas you had to put in it, like now out here I'd be broke. It was like the same size as your truck, but you got way less miles per gallon. Big ass car. The tires on it were huge. Jesse was like, trying to persuade me of like, it's going to cost a lot for this, and this, and it's got rust and it's got to get fixed. And at the time I was like, I don't give a fuck. But probably would have been a bad decision if I did go with it for that reason, because it would have just been expensive, but it would have been like fucking really cool car. Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, so I listened to Jesse, went with the Subaru. We call it the lesbian car. At least that's what they would call it. Like every time I pull up to the restaurant, like they all saw I got a new car. That's what they would all say to me. No offense.
Hated it the moment you bought it.
Hated it.
The moment you bought it.
Yeah, and not the moment I bought it. It just was like I was always like, all right, well, what can I do to like make it look cooler, like more of it like adventure cars? So we were gonna put like fucking lights on it and do like everything else. All we did was put a roof rack on it. And Jesse was like gonna help me put lights on, and we just never got around to it because it was a pain in the ass.
I
like,
would have made it more badass.
Yeah, but he would have had to have wired shit all over the place and
yeah,
alter it and put holes in it. So then my like resale value would have been dead.
Yeah,
because it would have been like you destroyed this thing.
But anyway, hold on before we get into persuasion. The salesman, you're test driving the car.
He's just trying to tell me like
was he talking to Jesse?
He was no, Jesse wasn't there. It was just me and Vince, and I don't know why I brought Vince, but he was like trying to tell me about like the horsepower and like it's not that bad. And you know, Vince's term is like, does it have balls to like fucking go on the highway? I was like, I don't need to go fast. I was like, can the dog fit in here? Can I get around? It's good in the snow. Like best car. Like I had the Wrangler. The Subaru was better in the snow. Like literally would just go through piles and I had no big tires on it. Like the Jeep would spin, the Jeep would sway, the Jeep wouldn't get stuck, but the Jeep didn't have control. The Subaru literally would just go down this hill and perfect control, like down hills, be able to stop. Really cool car in that sense.
Because I feel like when you're making decisions, persuasion is big, and it's really big in the car industry.
Yeah.
Like when I went to get the truck, it was fucking nightmare. I mean, Tesla was actually pretty
chill.
Dope.
Yeah.
Like they were like
the car sells itself.
Real hands off though. Like when Luke test drove one last week, they literally were like, yeah, here's how you work it.
Go for
Go
a
have
ride.
fun. 30 minutes. Go to the coffee. Like literally, like go to the coffee shop. She said. And
I
just, like,
tried. Me and Kendall were going to go on a date yesterday and drive the Model Y. So we're still going to do that at some point. Maybe next week.
yeah.
But she didn't want it yesterday. I don't know why. Chad asked her. But but yeah, super cool. Like you're saying, like she didn't give a shit. She was like, hey, here's how the car works. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. I think the idea is like the same deal as Procore. It's like, get your eyes on it. We sold you. Now it's like a matter of like, do you actually want it or not?
Dude, if you guys go for a date to test drive, you should ask if you can test drive the Model Y with the fucking cool ass
That's what we
doors.
were. I said to her, I was like, we'll just go test drive something else.
Try like something super souped up.
Yeah, like the bigger ones, like the one with the weird steering wheel, and just let her rip it because she has the Jeep, so it would just be more comparison. I already would get the Model 3, so she doesn't need to drive it.
Yeah, like they were super chill. Like when I went, I had this fucking dude, and the moment I met him, I was like, I'm gonna hate this guy. And it was like, yeah, just nonstop talking about this thing. And like then when we got to like the time to like trade in my shitty Chevrolet for it, he like was doing some weird math on this. Like he literally had like a napkin. I'm like, you don't have a piece of paper?
Where was this at?
This is in Jersey. I had looked on
the dirty Jers.
Sorry, Jay. I had looked on like, what was it? The Car Muns or what? Car E-Muns or something.
Yeah.
And I found it there, but like, so I knew I wanted it, and I guess he knew I wanted it.
This was the truck.
Yeah. And like I was just it was my first car. I didn't know how to handle it. But anyway, he was doing some weird math on the thing, and it was like, your down payment, you're gonna put $2,000 down, but then the trade-in value is gonna be $950. And then if we subtract that and add the difference, and I was like, dude, this is not adding up to make any sense of what you're
writing. Just writing shit down. Yeah. That's like weird stuff. Like that's what Jesse does when he talks to us. I don't know how legit it is. Like when he was on here last week.
Was the Subi used?
Yeah.
Like, so did you like actually walk around and actually look at it?
Yeah.
Yes. See, I was so nervous that I just was like, yeah, it looks great. And I jumped in the car, and like once I got it, I was like, like there's scratches here on the plastic inside, and there's like, the scuffed paint on the truck that you see.
Yeah.
Like that was there when I bought it. I should have been like, oh, yo, take some money off for that.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Oh, that's the weird thing with the Tesla. It's like on their website, it has like a test that the used one had to go through. Like mechanical is like the big issue. Yeah. It's like they want to make sure everything works still up to par. And they have like on their guideline, like certain scratches on the exterior can only be like 0.5 inches or something. Like there's going to be scratches, like paint chips, nothing in like the windshield way. The tires have to have a certain amount of tread still for it to be still sold. It has to be, it's like called the Tesla, like 145 point standard or something like that.
That's cool.
But I'm pretty sure it's like that with all used cars, but some of the other dealers have like scum, like you're saying, like they'll sell lemons.
I mean, Tesla's pretty good with the new ones too. B-Rye was telling me, if you're out there, B-Rye, we're going to have him on as a guest, right?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's, I think, Jeremy, if you're out there, do pop in. I'd love to talk about you persuade people at work all day on the old enterprise team.
But he was telling me that when you buy a new Tesla, they give you like X amount of days to find like anything that's wrong. Like
and then just bring it
something
back.
Feels imbalanced, the door won't shut all the way, like just weird stuff. And they'll like completely fix everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think B-Rye got a whole new bumper or something because it was like hanging. It wasn't like you really had to look at it, but it was like the gap between the bumper on one side was like bigger than on the other side, and they like tweaked it up.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That comes down to like customer satisfaction though. Because like you'll go to other dealers and they'll just pretend like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like they know they want to get rid of it. Like I'd be curious, like if you get rid of a car, like my Jeep, right, that I bought, the white one that I had, the like fucking Chris used to say it looked like a what are the ones from Star Wars?
The Super Troopers?
Yeah, the Stormtrooper. Gee, pull up a Jeep Cherokee Altitude and then a Stormtrooper side by side. The white Jeep Cherokee, like 2015.
They do that with 4Runners. Remember Adam's friend Hank?
Yeah.
He had a dope ass Stormtrooper style 4Runner.
Did he?
I know what you're talking about that, where it's like the black is really.
Yeah.
Like
and the front of it looked like a fucking helmet. So now a white one, that's like the newer one, I guess. But a white one, that's similar. That's very new, but pull up a 2015. Somehow I always ended up with 2015 cars. Always. I guess back at the time, that one was pretty new though for me, right?
I think you just search Stormtrooper Jeep Cherokee and it'll show you what it looks like.
I forget. It was like the Altitude, so it was all blacked out. But and then like a Stormtrooper. But anyway, I feel like if Carvana sold my car with a bad transmission, like they have the lemon law rules, but there's going to be some clause in there where it's like it doesn't fucking matter to them.
Yeah.
Like somebody probably bought that Jeep at some point, or Carvana just scrapped it. I don't know. None of these are it, but similar. It's I think they discontinued it, so it's going to just be harder to find. Because that's what all these car dealers do. They just get rid of shit. But anybody in the chat, if you'd love to hop in and talk about
dope. Also, gee, what car? Sorry, tech guy. What car do you drive?
I think he's got.
I don't even know.
I think he's a Mazda.
A Mazda.
Yeah.
Trill drives a Kia Optima that's about to eat and blow itself up.
Yeah, G drives a Mazda, right? Mazda 3 is at a 6. 6 is bigger, so like the smallest of the sedans, right? The lower the number of the sedan, the higher the number, the bigger. It's like how it works for like the BMWs and stuff too. It's like the higher the number goes, the bigger. 2015. You got a 2015 too, dude. Everybody's got a 2015.
It's white, G.
What year's Trill's? 2013.
2013.
Yours is 2008.
10.
Kendi is 2019, I think. 2019, maybe 2020. I don't remember because I get like right when you buy it, it's usually the year before. Yeah, that's how it works. I don't know. But yeah, so making the decision to buy the Tesla. We'll fast forward a little bit. I got a call the other night, and one of the guys from the gym was like convincing me to buy a brand new one. Makes sense, like, right? They have the tax rebates, all these different things. Yeah, all yada yada yada. But going through it was like, all right, what's the perk, right? The used one that I got had 50,000 miles on it versus the brand new one has like fucking 50 miles on it.
Yeah.
Has a little bit faster speed to it, so it goes to like 160 instead of 140, and it has 20 more miles per charge versus so it was 240 and 270, and that's the hope is 270, it says, and it can charge 20 minutes faster on the supercharger. Aside from that, it's got like blacked out shit around the windows versus silver, and that's it. Not much of a difference. If you want to pull up a 2020 Tesla Model 3. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. We'll be done with the car conversation in a minute. We're going to talk just about persuasion. So anyway, he was just talking to me about getting a car, and he was like, you should get a new one. He kept telling me I should get a new one, get a new one, get a new one, get a new one. I was like, well, two things. I already ordered this one. It's going to be here this weekend. It's not. I don't know where it is. But right away in my mind, I was like, fuck, maybe he's right. I should have got a new one.
Was this more? So like, obviously, if it was the Tesla salesman, you probably wouldn't believe it. So was it more because he was a friend?
And I had more trust.
He had good intentions, which I'm sure he did. I know the guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was just reading the comments. They're just shitting on us as always. Like, you guys are in our fucking show. You guys are shit on us. No, so it was, yeah, it was like more of like the trust that I had for this person. And I have a segue. I want to talk about that actually. Okay. The trust for a person, like, right. You have better trust for people when you are actually like close with them. Like, I trust him. Like, he was genuinely just trying to send me help. Like, he was like, hey, there's a shit ton of rebates you can get because you're in California and this is an EV car. Yeah. So like, here's all the rebates. The federal rebate for a brand new one is $7,500. If you get a used one, you get $4,000 or up to $4,000, depending on like the salary cap. And I think it's really low. So it's going to be hard to get, but there's another option. So like my car value minus the $4,000 rebate that I'll get. So it's like the car gets even cheaper. Then there's other ones from like the different, like the electric companies in the area, putting the charger in, doing, it's like if we had solar power, they pay you at some point.
But you mentioned that if it's from a rebate, because I'm assuming it's the same as the water heater, right? Like I put in a thing for the water heater and they're like, oh yeah, just file that on your taxes. And then you get the money
back. You get the money back.
So if you owe.
Yeah, then they just take the money, which in the end of the day, it would balance out. Yeah. But if you're trying to like, right, if I were to do the rest of the year paying a higher car payment, because I'm not paying for a brand new car cash. I don't have the cash. Secondly, if I did, I wouldn't be putting it towards that because it's a lot of fucking money to get rid of. Like if I had $50,000 sitting around, I'm not putting it towards a car. I'm going to put it towards something that I can make money on. Yeah. I would go buy a house and rent it out or something. But it would be like take the $7,500 and then put it on the car. And then all of a sudden the car payment goes way down or like you pay it off way faster, would be the hope. Right.
Yeah.
So, or like you refinance or something. I don't know how you would work, but if the government's going to take my money because I owe them because of my taxes from last year versus because of income and the gym and the restaurant, then it's different. I was just reading Trill's comment.
Yeah, just shitting on us.
Yeah, just shitting on us. Trill saying that I'll buy guys a Tesla. Well, once the fucking sales start ripping at Procore.
It wasn't even a measly pizza. It was a freaking good pizza. Yeah. I loved it.
So the decision process, like for some reason, there's something in my brain that makes me go one direction very quickly. But the segue that I wanted to take, when you're friends with people, right? Me and Kendall were talking about this yesterday. She thinks since she trusted you and Trill, it made her have an initial easier trust to have with me. Do you find that? Do you got, first of all, do you want to make that sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's true? Like, right, she was able to create a better relationship with me faster and easier because she felt safe with you and Trill almost.
Yeah.
So then therefore, like, if you guys trust me, then she can trust me faster because you guys trust me. Whereas like if I was a piece of shit and you guys were like,
it's clout, dude.
Yeah, it's clout. Okay, yeah, I like that. It's clout. Like, yeah.
If you were like some rando Tindo guy, you're completely unknown.
Yeah.
At least she has like Trill and I to be like, yo, is this guy like a creep?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's a total creep.
So it's like the Eric situation. It's like all the stuff that we say about Eric. Do you think that's bad for him? Or since we're joking, like, do you think people look at it like, yeah, fuck, I'm not going to date Eric because the people that I trust are like, don't like Eric?
I think to Kendall's point, like, it's just a nice to know that you have people that are friends with this person, like the recognition. I think if someone wants to go deeper, they would ask you questions.
Yeah. Well,
so like someone would be like, so Luke, like, did Rick have like good relationships in the past? And you'd be like, whatever you would say.
Well, if it was a serious conversation, I'd be like, yeah. He's loyal. He tries his hardest to make them work. He dated people that obviously it wasn't like, I don't want to use the word meant to be because I don't like that terminology. I believe it for the most part because like if it's meant to be, it's easier. Eric sucks, dude. Like that's still here. But I think overall, if I was going to explain Eric, it would make the decision process easier for that person because like you said, I like that clout. They have clout with us. Like we like them. We like their presence. We think they have certain things that are good for them. And also I wouldn't tell somebody to date somebody because I would be looking out for both people in that situation. I'd be like, Eric is really good for you, or Eric's not good for you, or vice versa. Like, hey, Shannon, Eric's not good for you, or Eric's really good for you, type of deal. Shannon, if you're out here, it's just I'm using it as an example.
But
don't
Kennedy
get upset.
Didn't ask us any validating questions for you. She just
knew
that we had a friendship and that you lived with us.
Yeah.
You were decent, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of where it went. It's gotten hot. The sun's beating on us.
It's warmed up. It's Cali.
I think that helps make the decisions faster. I'd love to talk to some people in the chat. If anybody wants to click the link, drop the link again. The only way these people actually use the link is if I text it to them.
Yeah.
None of them actually know how to.
Can you click the link in the comments? Trill, could you validate?
You should be able to copy and paste it at least into your browser. So like if you just copy it, put it into your browser. I don't think you can directly click it though.
But yeah, I don't think you got any. I think she just trusted the friendship and
the friendship. Well, I just think it made her decision process easier. There was other things, but it was like on a trust level with me, or like understanding if it was a good person or not.
What about for you? The fact that she was a member in the gym, did that make it easier for you? Was that validation, or that Trill and I knew her?
Yeah, I mean that you guys knew her made it easier, but the other parts going through my mind was the gym was like, all right, well, this is not ideal because it's like, if it didn't work, is she going to be awkward around me now? Is she going to be weird with me now? It works? Confirming it works. Thanks, Trill. So if anybody wants to click it, Trill, if you want to get in here, we know you're sick, but it's fine. But overall, it was better that I knew you guys, or like and maybe this is where it's fucked up. I didn't J all the way. Okay, you got to put stuff in.
She's a little suck up.
If you were to tell me like, no, I don't think it's a good idea versus, yeah, I think this is a good idea, try it, or like, I'm okay with it. It was like, okay, guess I will go hang out with said person.
Yeah.
But if you were like, no, I don't think it's good for the business, this and this, there'd be two things. I think I still would have done it anyway. I would have tried to persuade you or tell you why I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, our dog's here. Hi, Burn. So I think that's there. There was decisions. There was something else I was gonna fucking say. Now I forget.
Persuasion,
but it was something I don't remember now. I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm fucked.
Our boy Jaime should be calling in later. He's driving the boat right now. I don't know how long that takes him.
Yeah, did you text him the link? He normally pops in and says he's gonna J up. We're gonna try to keep the episodes around 20 minutes. Feel better, G. Is Kendall watching?
Yeah.
She doesn't like to chat. Shannon, are you here? Do you want to get interviewed today? I should send Jeremy the link. He wanted to get interviewed, make decisions, and he's a good salesman.
Yeah.
Should I hit him up?
Yeah, you send him the link.
He should be watching. He sees it on YouTube. They all see it on YouTube, and none of one of our friends told us yesterday they accidentally click the link, and then they actually don't watch. They just quickly leave.
We're gonna do some interviews soon. I don't keep saying that, but that's on the docket.
No, we got to do it quick. Get that going. But there was something else about decisions that I had to ask you. How do you know when a decision's good? I guess
reflection. That's a good question. I don't really ever reflect. I think that's a bad habit that I have.
You just do it and you're like, it's cool, good to go.
Actually, no, I reflect. Just trying to think if it's negative or positive. I guess I do reflect and I just make a decision.
What's like
the cabinets, for example? I was just like, I'm going to do it myself. See how it goes.
What was like okay, so you go through the decision process. You tell yourself like all the pros and cons without actually writing it down. You're like, okay, I could fuck this up and this could happen and this could happen and I could waste a lot of money and Cheryl can end up being mad or I could be mad. And then you're like, but I want the cabinets up and I want them now. So I'm going to do it because I think that is better than me waiting and spending money more to get somebody else to come. Is that kind of what happened? Yeah. So you go through that process, you start putting them up. And now if something bad were to happen, what would you say? Like if you broke something or if they all didn't fit or if you broke the trim, what would you do?
That's a good question.
Would you be mad?
I don't know.
So you didn't think this through at all?
No, I just sent it.
Okay. Interesting.
But that's a good point. Like when I'm done, depending on the outcome, I guess are those good factors to decide if it was a good decision or not?
That I don't know, but that's where you need to decide. Like, I don't think you get persuaded easily. I ask you a lot of questions about my life. Like, do you think this is a good idea? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? And some people tell me it's like, they judge me for that. They're like, I don't know. That's a good idea. Geez, car browsing.
Well, you also have that weird tendency to pull in father figures.
What the fuck do you mean?
You don't think that there's been a lot of people in your life that try to take the fatherly role?
Oh, way too
many. And it's interesting because you are very close with your dad and you like express that to people pretty openly that you guys are tight.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just attracts more men in your life to like try to take that fatherly role.
Yeah. Like what though?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. There's plenty of people that I pop into my life throughout the years. I mean, I could run through a list of them.
Yeah.
Basically essentially it's like you. People ask me, I'm like, nah, he's more like a brother. But then I have my own father. Then there was Cain. And then we kind of run through, some people would say Gaz. I don't know.
Gaz, not so much, but Cain, Fabian, who else was I don't know. They try to steer
Fabian,
you in a way that's a little more fatherly than a friend.
G's got pulled up for us. Who is this guy, first of all? Concealing. Being easily influenced by others can be due to a variety of factors, including low self-esteem and
need for approval. I think that's one of the big things that I
follow. Yeah.
Even in relationships, we were talking about it. Did we talk about it on the air or was that off air?
For what? Need for approval? No, I think we talked about it on the air. Like, dude, people around me improve
your love language is like words of affirmation a lot.
For me?
Yeah.
You think it's for me?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's words of affirmation.
I think it is.
I think it's acts of service.
Maybe that's two, but I think if you don't get reassurance, which I would associate with the words of affirmation.
Yeah, you're right.
Kendall, if you're watching.
He normally doesn't make hasty decisions. I appreciate you, Trill. Or are you talking about Matt? This is so ironic because Matt is usually a big critical thinker. He usually doesn't make hasty decisions.
Why don't you click the link? We'll get you on here for an evaluation.
Yeah, I'd love to interview her. I'm trying to get some people. I'm going to start texting the link. They don't know how to use it, actually. But I would agree with Trill. Matt does not make hasty decisions. But the cabinets, would you say, is like a very ironic thing, Trill? He just quickly jumped into this.
Also, pop that screen back up on to keep reading it. Like in big form.
Yeah, you can get rid of us.
All right. So need for approval. Yeah, I think you look for a need for self-confidence. I don't know. I'm not you. I don't feel like you lack it.
No, I don't think so. I think I have self-confidence. I think I'm very confident, but I also think I get nervous with certain things. But I wouldn't say it's like self-confidence. Like if somebody said, get in front of this room and talk, I'd be nervous, but I would do it. Like, fine.
Right. And that's what my question was going to be. Is that just with new things? Like if I was like get in front of this random class and coach CrossFit.
I'd be nervous, but I think I'd be able to do it better than most.
Yeah, like at Birdies, you seemed fine.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay.
Yeah. So maybe that's just with new stuff. It just seems normal to me.
Yeah, like I'm okay at work talking. Words of affirmation, 100% from Kendall. For you or me?
He normally doesn't make hasty decisions. Yeah, just dived in. Full commitment.
We got a lot. Why don't you guys just drop into the channel?
Kendall agrees with me. She's talking about you. 100% words of affirmation. Yeah, I noticed that too, Kendall. Like I have to I don't think I do it enough for you. I think I need to be more like uplifting for you and tell you like how much we appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, nah, I don't need you guys.
It was like that time you were leaving for SB.
Yeah, it goes
I was
back.
like begging you not to go.
It's a sad day, dude. It's a sad day. Let's not talk about that. Coldplay played Paradise. It sounds scarred. Scarred for fucking life. But okay, so pull that list back up. I think I have confidence. Improve your self-esteem. So this is ways to get better. Develop your own.
Which you have self-esteem, but I think number 2 actually might be beneficial to you.
Develop your own value and beliefs. I have my own values. Beliefs.
What are they?
My values: health, family, adventure, personal development, and the 5th one I have it written down. It was like something odd to try to not be similar. It was like I don't remember. So the 4 like my key ones, like personal growth or personal development. I think I lumped into one. It's like I constantly want to be doing things that help me grow personally. The family piece, I like to talk about tribe or something rather than family, because it's a little bit deeper than that. I think it's more of like I want to be around, like not everybody's your family. So it's like I want to be around a group of people that create like a tribe, or like I don't like the word community because that's what we all use in the CrossFit gym. And it's like, that's stupid, because like I don't like to look at it as a community, because I think that's like a weak structure.
How do you define tribe? Like, because to me, when you say that word, I think more like we're a group of people that leverage each other for different things. Maybe that's the same as community, but to me, tribe sounds more like, oh, I know Luke's like really good at fitness and health. Like I'm going to go like,
and that's kind of what I mean. Yeah. Whereas like a family, I think if you use the term family, people take advantage of each other almost. I have it in there because I think that's important. Like I don't not want to have a relationship like with you and Trill or anybody else. It's like I strive to have somewhat of a relationship. Like I don't like not talking to people. It's different in the sense of like, I'm just going to be a pushover and be friendly with my whole family because they're family, or I'm going to help them because they're my family. I'm going to give them $20,000 because they're my family. It's like different than that. But yeah, tribe, it's like, I'm going to go to Matt because he's good at tech and I need help. Or like how Kendall was like about the Roth IRA yesterday, or it's like, hey, I know Matt helped me with this. Why don't you ask him? Or like Gas, it's like the tech guy, like he's got the most clout in the fucking community for the tech. He knows a Cat 5 versus a Cat 7 just by looking at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It just got me a good episode idea. Tech guy, write this down. Maybe one of these episodes we'll have a live call-in show where we can help me write my values.
That'd be a good one.
I'm jelly because I don't have any like that.
You don't have any? And you in the gym?
No, I don't have any values like written off that I could spitfire like that. Was pretty impressive. Chad, give me a round of applause.
You guys want to dig into them a little bit? I think we could do Matt's right now. We got time. We got no viewers.
We'll save it for a more themed episode.
All right, yeah, we need the whiteboard. Next, we're gonna hopefully have chairs and a whiteboard or a plant or something for a fucking cup of coffee, so I could actually sit closer to the desk and we can interact with the computer more. But yeah, my values, they help me dig in. So the self-esteem part is
pull that back.
What would be the difference between values and beliefs?
I don't know. Does it say G? What G? Take the time, what you believe in and what you value. Use this as a guide when making decisions. So it's saying that, like, when you were thinking about the Tesla, okay, that's a good question. When you were thinking about the Tesla, did you ever translate this back to your values? Were you like, is the Tesla going to give me a better family? Personal growth.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
And maybe it didn't go to any of your values. So maybe that's where beliefs are different. Like maybe you believe in doing better for the environment.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I like my sole thing was like, I believe this is going to make my life less stressful in the sense of like, I'm not going to have to go spend $5 on gas, because every time I'd sit down and go put gas in, like it was a piece of life that I knew we had to do, but it pissed me off. It was like, why am I paying $5 for gas? I'm being forced to go to the office that I could do work from home, which I'm fine. I told you I like going to the office, but it's like I don't want to drive and have to pay this much money for fucking gas. And like there were certain other things, like right, the adventure part counter or contradicted. It's like, okay, now the Tesla's an issue because I can't put the dogs in it. And like we had that conversation several times. Was like that's gonna fuck with our lives slightly. I was one that always drove because my car was more suitable for the dogs. Trill's is not, and yours doesn't fit anybody.
Why do I have that fucking thing?
Because you're like a critical thinker. You're always running through, and you're like,
no, I think that, but that doesn't check any fucking logical boxes.
But
There's
it
no need
does.
to have
I
that.
know what box it checks
What?
for you. Finances. For you, it's I'm not
paid
gonna
off,
not gonna spend money on something. I don't want to do this. I don't want to touch my credit score.
So that's the only box it checks. Like practicality, it's useless. Do I ever use the bed? It's useless. Do I ever off road? No.
Useless.
It's like I can't take the dogs. I can't take you, Trill, Kenny.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Like we never like we took your car for the first time. I haven't been in your car in forever. We took it yesterday.
True.
Like we went. Actually, no. Yeah, I haven't been in your car in forever. Like we went to Costco the other night. I didn't drive. He didn't drive. Kendall drove us to the grocery store.
It has back seats, but I built a little thing for the dog, so like I never take it out of laziness. But I always think about like, yeah, I always feel bad putting people in the back seats. But then I remember we drove to Zion and back with Vince in the back seat, and he didn't complain once. Yeah. I think he actually fell asleep back
the whole time. I mean, if you're back there by yourself, it's not the only issue. Is like this is how much cushion you're sitting on.
Yeah, and
like
the back
an
has
inch.
Nothing. It's just plastic.
Yeah, an inch. Yeah, and then you got that like weird little headrest on it. I mean, it sucks. So practicality wise, your car's a piece of shit.
A piece of shit.
Yeah.
I can't still
chat. What car should Matt be getting? Let's put that in the comments. But your values and beliefs, it doesn't check any of them. Like, what are your what's your top value that comes to mind? Stealing mine.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Personal development for sure. I always think that you can get one. I think you should always strive to get 1% better every day.
Okay.
Personal.
Okay.
Development.
So like personal, same as mine, like personal growth, personal development.
Yeah.
I think it's like I thought about twisting mine, saying
perfect timing.
Gee, add her in.
Got a guest on the show.
Oh, what are we talking about today, y'all?
Well, first and foremost, did you get your little makeup situation figured out?
Yeah, we watched that video
that you sent to Aspen. I know that was personal.
That was so embarrassing. She was like, yeah, I did. You know, I don't know. Like ADHD is like so like kind of underrated. And I just find myself doing like the dumbest things. And that was a perfect example of a dumb thing. Like I genuinely like put so much on my face. It was like all here. And then like I had like 30 million thoughts go through my head all at once. And I was like, oh, I need to do this. And then I got to do this. And then next thing you know, and then I'm like, it was all within like 2 minutes. And I'm like, why is there makeup all over my shirt? It was like, how does something like that happen? I don't know. It's just my brain.
So then the ADHD kicked in prior to that or during that? Because then you started to make a video for like that video we watched was that long video, right?
Yeah.
We watched it during the whole whiteboard brief at the gym.
I mean, no. So like, great.
It was just me, Aspen, and Luke, I think.
Yeah. No one else was there.
I don't feel like ADHD is like a thing that like kicks in. Like I feel like it's like constant. It's just sometimes I'm like more observant of my behavior than others. Right. So like I went through that whole process and then I was like, as soon as I realized it was like makeup on my shirt, it was like backtracking. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like I forgot I put like a huge slap of it on my face. It was just like
is that ADHD? Because I do that too. Like I'll like be walking around through the house and I'll be like, oh yeah, I got to clean up the kitchen. And then like, I'll like put my coffee mug down. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, wait, I forgot to put on deodorant. And then I'll go to the bathroom and then I'll be like, my beard looks long. I'll start shaving. And then I'll be like, wait, where's my coffee?
It's ADHD.
Is that ADHD?
Yeah, it's ADHD.
Wait,
do we have anybody here that's medical?
So with any diagnosis, it's more like there's a set of like common behaviors or whatever, right? Like symptoms, and generally the way it works is like if you kind of like qualify under like a certain set of those or more, right, then that's how they diagnose. So I mean, there can be things that you do that are ADHD like that
like, hey, get in here, dude.
don't really like qualify, you know.
Where are you right now? Are you home?
Me?
Yeah.
Me? I thought somebody else was coming.
I just like the plants. They look good. Sure would be proud of you.
Wait, do you think that your ADHD, because we'll say you have it, okay? We're just gonna pretend. I'm not saying you have it.
I hate that word.
You're claiming you have it. Would
no,
you
I
say?
I do. I went to like doctors and stuff when I was young and I was on
Do you
medication.
think it alters your decision processing like things? Do you think it alters your like your personal values and beliefs? That's kind of what we were talking about. We were talking about decisions, and then once you have decisions, how does it go hand in hand with your personal values and beliefs?
Okay.
Deep. I know it's fucking deep. Take a second if you need to think about it. Write it down.
Can embracing it be an option?
Yeah, you can embrace it if that's one of your values.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of things about like ADHD for me that I embrace and that I like have a lot of respect for. But I do think that it's, as much as it can be kind of like, I guess, a superpower in its own way, I also think there's limitations, like a lot of limitations that I just, you have to like kind of just work with and adapt to. And then like form habits that allow you to like do better, but also work with what you got. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's more just trying to formulate habits is really what it is, and routines. Like routine is really important
to deal with the ADHD, right? So you have to create some sort of like structure to deal with it. If you don't do that, what happens?
It's just like chaotic.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't even think like if I was to give you a task list, right? What would your approach be?
A task list for like,
yeah, if I was like, here, Shannon, you got to do these 6 things. How would you do them?
That's actually super helpful for me. Like that's actually something I have to do all the time. Like I'm like very hands-on and like a visual learner. So for me, but
you'll like go in order, for example, like you'll be like, I got to do task 1 first from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I differ from you. Like I'm going to be like, I'll start task 1, then I'll be like, oh wait, task 2 kind of works into this one. So I'm going to start task 2 while I'm doing task 1. That's where I get.
What would happen if we fucked with your brain? What if we gave you a list, and on this list, it had like walk the dogs written really big. And then like on the bottom right corner, it had cook dinner even bigger. And then in the middle, it was like make the bed really small. And like you wrote the words all different scattered, different sizes, different text. Would that fuck with you?
Yeah.
What would you
because I would feel like certain things are like more of a priority, even though they're like, yeah.
But would the ADHD like kind of just like bounce all over the place at that point?
Yeah, that's like disorienting for me.
Like my approach would be like, cool, I'm just gonna, like you said, priority. I'd be like, all right, the dogs need to get walked. It's noon. Let me get that done, because that would be easy. That's gonna take 20 minutes. Check that off the bed. That takes 2 minutes. Let me do that before we even walk the dogs, actually.
It's kind of weird. Like,
and then you're like bouncing around, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like you're like getting the leashes, and then you're like, I'll just make the bed real quick.
I guess, yeah. So what would you do? How would your approach look there?
I'd probably do the things that are biggest and boldest first, just because, and then I'd like panic internally because I'm like, oh my God, this is so not organized. Like,
would you, okay, so if you're making the bed right now and all of a sudden halfway through the bed, Kendall texts you and says, call me, would you call her, or would you finish making the bed?
I'd call her.
Immediately, right?
Yeah.
She didn't call you, she texted you.
I call her.
She texted you and said, hey, call me when you have a minute. All of a sudden, you're going to be like, fuck this bed. I'm going to call Kendall. Yep. Okay.
Well, hold on. Does she know?
Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing about like ADHD is there's hyperfixation where like you are so obsessed with a task. Like, for example, like I could not 2 days ago, like I could not get it out of my head that I needed to fucking install some shelves, right? Like I was like they need to be installed. I don't know why, they just need to be installed like now. Like, and so I stayed up literally until like, don't ask me why it took this long, but like I started late, but I stayed up till like almost like a little after midnight, just like installing shelves. And it was like, I could do this any other day, but I just felt like I needed to get it done like immediately. Like there was just literally no way, because I'm like, either I do it now or I'm going to forget. And then something else is going to come up and I'm going to be busy with this and that. And then I'm going to be like, oh, I got to do this. Like, I just need to get it done now. And and I had a moment of like hyperfixation where like, this is the task and I'm going to do it. There's that. And then there's like, and this is what makes it complicated too, is like, there's the hyperfixation and then there's like complete, like disconnect where you're like, holy crap, like I have all these things to do. And I'm like, it's so much. I'm so overwhelmed. There's this thing I got to get done. And that over there. And then I got to call so-and-so, that you do like literally none of it. You're just like, I can't even start it. I don't even know what I'm going to do or how to approach this. Yeah. So for me, like a checklist, like if I can write down super organized, right? Like 1 through, 6, like these are the things I need to get done. And I can cross them off, one by one, like that's helpful for me.
Okay. So what do you think about pharmaceutical industry? If they, like the way you're explaining this, if they gave you Adderall or like Ritalin, which are both like, I don't understand how the neurotransmitter, but you take it and it basically is supposed to help rewire your brain. Would this be beneficial if you took Adderall? Because it sounds like it would make it even worse. Like you would be fucking working on the cabinets until they're perfect.
So, okay. So like, it wasn't until like, honestly, like I think like I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychiatrist and I'm not a psychologist putting that out there. It's just like, this is all like personal experience basis. Like from my understanding, like ADHD didn't even like we didn't really know that much about it until like the early 2000s. Right. So like there's still a lot that they're kind of uncovering about ADHD. And
yeah, I agree.
On top of that, like the medication that is available has like skyrocketed, right? Like it's like they've realized that just like similar to autism, like ADHD is like a huge spectrum. So they've there's medications that are stimulants and then there's medications that are not stimulants. And so, and then there's like everything kind of in between. Yeah. So I think it would just depend on kind of like, I guess, my brain chemistry and where I fall like under that spectrum. And
so it would be like, your diagnosis.
Yeah. Specific to,
okay.
I would say I'm definitely more of like an anxious person. And I think that shows through a lot of like my ADHD. But so stimulants probably would not be helpful for me. I think it just depends. And I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about the pharmaceutical industry, but it's just like a solution.
I mean, I'm down to hear your opinions on the pharmaceutical industry.
Do you do caffeine though?
I do drink coffee, but I also don't drink it every day. I don't drink it on the weekends because this is just my thing. I'm like, I'm not drinking any caffeine on the weekends. Like it's like detox time. And sometimes I swap out like coffee for teas.
What's your go-to coffee? That was the icebreaker for today.
My go-to coffee order? Oh, that's such a hard question. I'm a freak. I like to put all the things in it.
Let's hear it. What are all the things?
Okay. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is now a public secret, I guess. So don't knock it till you try it.
All right.
Get from Starbucks or wherever. I don't know if other places would do this. It's a little excessive. Mocha, you put, okay, if you're going venti, let's say, couple pumps of white mocha, couple pumps of regular mocha, peppermint, put some peppermint in there, and then put matcha cold foam.
I just heard about the cold foam thing.
So good. Tastes like a Thin Mint.
Well, I heard like it's kind of cool to have the cold foam with the hot drink.
What do? They just whisk it with the little
it's
wand.
Like some special foam. I don't know how they make it.
I've done that once. I think it's literally like whipped
with those hand things.
Cream with sugar in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can like flavor it. So people do that. Yeah.
I was just having a conversation with our electrician about this of like, I don't want to be the pretentious coffee person that like shuns Starbucks. Like if Luke and I were ever to open a coffee shop, I didn't want, like when Kendall's baristing, I don't want her to like ever be like rude to someone who like accidentally says like, I'll take a venti, and be like, oh, we don't do fucking Starbucks here. Like I think like whatever drink you like. But we were talking about how like a lot of the Starbucks stuff is like TikTok oriented. You know how like some TikTok will be like, yo, you got to try this custom drink out that I just made. And it's like, they tell you the pump order and then like put the cold cream on and then dash of cinnamon and then get the honey stick and then drizzle it on top. And then boom, that's the latest Starbucks drink.
Yeah. TikTok's like a dark place. Like, like it's a rabbit hole. I feel
Love
like
it though.
you get like hooked. Do you guys have a TikTok? Are you TikTokers?
I have it. I don't use it very often.
Luke, don't lie to us. Luke, not good at dances.
The what? I wish I could. I can't dance for shit. I've tried though. Like I used to, when it first came out, my favorite was like the disco style music.
Yeah.
But they just do like the stuff with their feet.
Sadly, we were like the first people to discover it because of Gary Vee.
Yeah.
We never did anything with it.
Yeah. We were big Gary Vee fans back in the day, and he would talk about it. We never did anything, but we
He
could
was
have been like the Addison Rae and the other chicks.
Yeah, people make money off of TikTok.
People make a
Seriously.
crazy amount of money.
TikTok
We fucked up.
Jose V, are you on TikTok? You're a little social
Yeah,
media guy.
he's on TikTok.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on TikTok.
Here.
Yeah, well, he was in the chat earlier.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to get him on here for an interview about
stock market.
Yeah,
I want to learn numbers. We were shooting the shit about that.
Dude, that'd be a cool episode. Jose V helps Kendall find a Roth IRA.
Yeah, I was also thinking. I was going to say, just like a heads up, you guys both have ADHD because we went from like a really deep conversation, and all of a sudden Matt was like, "Wait, squirrel, coffee."
We gotta like swing around. You gotta keep me on track. Else this is.
It's not your fault. It was the other host.
Well, back to the coffee.
He's got ADHD. He like literally was like, "Oh, there's a squirrel. Let's talk about it."
Yeah.
So that was mad, but
it can go and go and go. I have like a couple minutes, and then I gotta go because I'm gonna go.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go do my trapeze.
What the hell's trapeze? That's the stuff on the swings.
Yeah.
Oh shit! In Ventura.
It's in Santa Barbara.
Andrea from the gym? Probably not. She usually came in like, you did meet her?
Once at some point.
Her mom is real big into, I think it's aerial arts. I don't know how to, the term, but the thing where you hang from the ropey things, the lace things.
Oh yeah. Silk, they're like silk things.
I think she does, she teaches it.
Oh, wow.
It's super fun. Have you guys done that before?
No.
Never done any of it.
I don't mess with ribbons.
It's kind of fun. I feel like you guys should have like a day, a podcast every once in a while.
Can you take your shirt off there?
What?
Can you take your shirt off there?
Like a CrossFit gym?
No. I mean, no, because you're like strapped in to like a harness and you're like flinging around. So you probably get like rope.
Do people hit each other?
Harness burn.
Because Jill and I were like, that's what we value about CrossFit.
That you can strip.
You can take your shirt off.
Take your shirt off. That's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you could. Like, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but I feel like it would be painful.
Would people judge you?
Yeah. Unless you're Aaron.
I mean, we're in a CrossFit gym, and Aaron and you took your shirts off the other night. Everybody judged you guys.
Okay, I know we're talking about so many other things, but I would like to know how CrossFit Aaron.
You should have went. We were so
it was the funniest thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
Was it?
I could not stop laughing. I cried. I wish there was more people there to share it with. Kendall hid away, so I couldn't share laughs with her. Me and Matt got yelled at every 2 seconds for laughing, to the point where Matt was so tired though that the exhaustion from laughing couldn't happen anymore.
Oh no!
It was great.
How many people ended up showing up?
It was the biggest class we ever had. 21,
22, something like maybe 23. Some people loved it, and other people are like, "I will never do that again."
Because it was hard. Like
it wasn't. It was just odd. Like we were doing jumping thrusters with dumbbells, and then all of a sudden burpees, and then push-ups, and then box jump overs, then more
broad jump thrusters.
Yeah, then broad jump thrusters, and he would call us babies and call us names. Fucking get down on the ground. He didn't care if he offended you, called you names, scream at you. He kept yelling at Caleb to just go faster.
Oh, Caleb, no.
He just yelled at everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
people loved it. You have to come to the next one.
Yeah, is you doing these regularly now? Is this like a thing you think?
Once a month, maybe every other month.
Quarter. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Quarterly.
Got to see how people felt.
Yeah, quarterly. Quarterly's good. I feel like quarterly is like a good goal for some things
Yeah,
sometimes.
for something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you pop on here for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I just make sure you didn't have a subject you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Was there anything you had to comment before you got to go?
No, I'm
All
not
right.
that prepared. I just find this super fun.
Oh, we gotta build the clientele. We need to get some more people in here. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Chat's also real quiet. You know, chat, you guys can comment like, you know, what your values are when we're talking about values. If you have ADHD,
They probably are all watching this and with something else on the background because they have ADHD.
That's what I say. I don't even know if ADHD is a thing, because even our tech guy just said, wait, I might have ADHD then if those are the rules for it.
But that's what everybody does with all things. Like, you know, anxiety is like, oh, I have anxiety. What's the new thing? Like, oh, that person's a narcissist. Like, everybody uses narcissists all the time, but that's like an actual diagnosis, and people who are genuinely narcissistic are like,
That's an actual medical diagnostic.
Narcissistic personality disorder. Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't even know that.
It's like so bad. Like literally everything revolves around that person, and it's not even like it's like they'll invite you over for dinner and it's like seemingly like really a nice gesture, but it's like fully about them. And if you like, this is just an example, like you don't like their dinner, it's a problem. Like you don't say enough thank yous, it's a problem. Like it's like everything revolves around them. Like genuinely, it's like if you look, there's a diagnostic, you should look at like a psychology like diagnostic manual.
Yeah, I have to look it up. I didn't even know that was like an actual. I thought it was just like in the end of the day, like this guy's a douche.
I always thought narcissistic was people that just always talk about themselves. I didn't think about it as like they get insulted when you don't say thanks or.
Yeah, so that's like actual definition of it. Wow.
Yeah, like it's there's also like a lot of like mood swing associated things, and I don't know. This is a whole nother.
That's a wormhole.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll have to dig into that next time.
Yeah, were you a psych major or you just like psych?
Yeah, I mean, my grandma was a therapist for years. My mom was a therapist.
Psychologist or psychiatrist?
Psychologist, marriage and family therapist, and then my mom actually did work in a psych ward for a while. And I don't know. I have a minor in psychology.
What was that like growing up with them though?
Awesome. I mean, I feel like
I just had an idea.
You want to interrupt her? Like this fucking guy.
What if we did like in the podcast? What if we did a 15-minute segment with Shannon and she works with a guest?
Yeah, we can do that. It's like a
discovery.
What if we did a 15-minute segment where you just take a live caller and kind of work them through their issues?
I just don't know if I should do that.
Like Loveline. Did you listen to Loveline before back in the day? That's a Cali show. Kendall's probably listened to it. It's a big Cali.
I don't even have a full degree in like psychology. I mean, I think
do you believe that? What was his name?
Yeah, look at that. The chat wants it. Therapy session with Shannon.
All right, there we go.
Oh my god! I don't know.
Do you want to do it now? You have time. We'll get a caller in.
Like Dr. Drew from Loveline. Was Dr. Drew really a doctor?
Yeah. Was he?
He was like a Hollywood celeb.
Let's be honest. Did he even have a psych degree?
Yeah.
You really got to go like
session with
How would you start it off? Like, what would you say to these people?
Well, they'll call in with a problem.
Okay, so like, should we practice? Let's do like a ring ring. All right, ready? Ring ring, ring ring, ring ring.
What on earth is happening?
Ring ring. You got to answer the phone. Hey, is this Dr. Shannon?
Sure.
This is Willie.
This is outrageous. It's a great idea. Maybe if I even had like my full bachelor's in psych, I would do that. But I don't think, or like friend to friend, like friend wants some advice, like sure, I got you.
All right, so I think we should. I like that. It's a good idea. We'll do once a month. We're gonna do a live call in for Shannon. We'll call you like the psychology CPO, the chief psychology officer.
Luke loves to just put everybody on the chief level for our organization.
So funny.
Well, we need to fucking fill that level up.
We're just gonna build the top up.
Yeah, we got to build the top up and then we'll work down.
I could like brew some ideas for this podcast for sure. Like I would love
You have to talk to the CTO, the CFO, the CMO.
Right.
Yeah, first. But
We're gonna talk about it.
yeah.
All right.
But
We'll have to
I
write you a
actually-
task list. That's what I got from this podcast. It's a task list of things.
What's our private chat
I
say?
do need to test this. I do. Well, you guys, I probably should go, but
Yeah.
All right,
I
hopefully.
can get going. Get flying here.
Don't get
I-
stuck in
Later.
don't get stuck in traffic in SB. Stop at Handlebar, get yourself some
Better
coffee.
not. The traffic back has been nuts. Like getting back from Santa Barbara. Oh my
Yeah, because
goodness.
that CARP area, they're changing shit up again.
Yeah. Seriously. All right,
But
you guys.
Good
fun
luck.
on
Thanks
the
for
podcast.
stopping into the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Guys.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh my god.
Gee,
Guys.
don't worry about it, Shannon. It's Gaz's job.
Guys, how you doing, dude? I swear to God, that was not intentional, G, but it was like the first name that came to my head. I was gonna say Liver King because he's in the background of Matt's computer.
Well, I thought that's standard. If we're going to pull up Instagram, we have that.
Yeah, always Liver King. He's in the background.
Yeah.
Liver King is king. What do you think his decision process making skills are?
Well, let's wrap it back before we got that call in. So, buying a Tesla, did you associate that with any of your values?
I think we broke it down. We said my beliefs. Yeah, values, adventure. It would be like a
Adventure.
new adventure. It's like, cool, I'm going to have an electric car. I'm not going to be able to go on road trips. I'm going to have to figure out when to charge this up. I'm going to have to do some other shit
And
along
then
the
when we're
lines.
thinking about new versus used Tesla, I guess it doesn't really matter at that point in terms of your values, right? Because it's both, either way, it's checking the box that you want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes that decision a little harder.
Yeah. I mean, I've wanted a Tesla for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Like for years. Like when George had his, I was like, I want one of these. Even prior to that, it was just like, they're a cool car. Do I look like gee, pull up my car, the Subaru. Do I look like I fit in that car?
You
Like-
don't really fit in rugged cars. At least your latest persona that you're going fashion wise.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the Subaru Outback 2015, not the Impreza or whatever that shit is.
Like last year's Luke and maybe the last 3 years Luke was like Filson vests, cowboy hats, flannels.
I still rock those every once in a while.
New Luke, Procore Luke, it's like he's rolling into the gym in a full-on button-up that's tucked into his pants with like nice dress slacks and some like nice boots.
All right. Yeah, you're right.
So I
You're
feel
right.
like with new Luke, the Tesla, yeah, you could rock the Tesla a little bit better.
Yeah, the Wrangler days, I fit that.
You fit the Wrangler.
I feel like you can fit the Wrangler in both those outfits, though. 100%. Guys at the office do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what your Wrangler looks like. It's all muddy and it's got like all the
I'm
fixins
talking
on
like
it.
the 97 Wrangler I had. I feel like that could fit everybody. That's like the midlife crisis car for
It depends what you do to it.
yeah.
Like if it's like one of those clean.
Well, let the
Jeeps,
chat decide.
the
Gee,
chat
pull up my
decide.
car. Pull up the fucking Subi. I mean, I'm glad it's gone,
Is it
but
on your Instagram?
no, I've never posted. I
Yeah,
fucking
don't think
hated it.
I had my truck for almost 20. or
I
10
posted
years.
about
I don't think I
the-
ever posted a pic of it.
I've posted pictures of the Wrangler. Anything after that, no. So like, I had the third picture in. I had the fucking silver one, basic model. It was limited, so it was souped out on the inside. But like, that's it. Look at that. Do I look like that car fits me? Look at him screen capturing this shit and everything. I just figured out a really good way to troll people. I'm gonna put the StreamYards link on Instagram, and people are just gonna click it.
That's a great idea.
That's awesome. Jamie said he's busy, so we didn't get to have Jaime on today. But
That's like a first ever. I almost feel bad.
yeah, I feel depressed today
Yeah,
because of that.
we don't get our usual CrossFit update with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a good man. He means well.
I mean, per tradition, I feel like that Vince on.
Yeah. Do you want to hit him up?
Yeah,
Set him up, and then we'll close the podcast out. We got shit to do today. We're going to the
There was a whole thing I wanted to go into about relationships and stuff, but we can save that for a later time.
about relationships. We got a couple
Yeah.
more minutes. We could dig in. We're trying to wrap the show up in the next 7 minutes is the goal.
Because I was just thinking about it this morning when I was laying in bed with Trill.
What are you writing?
And just like how like we've been together for almost 10 years, but like how comfortable we are with each other at this point.
Yeah.
Very comfortable, like will just like I'll just fart in the bed.
And you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you rip ass all day, every day. Like, dude, on our walks, Matt just fucking, he'll like slow down, go behind us or next to us, and then just fucking fart the whole time.
Yeah. Or like, because now our bathroom has the toilet in there with the sink and all our stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like if someone's in there doing number 2, like you just roll in and just do your stuff anyway.
And rip
But
it.
that, like, you don't do that day one of a relationship.
For most part, no, I don't.
Some
think
people
so.
never do that. Trill was talking to somebody who's like never seen.
Do you think that's a good relationship?
Well, I mean, in terms of health, I don't think holding in your farts forever is good.
Well, in terms of like that overall health of a relationship, like right, if we broke down a new relationship and we put on the other end like the best relation, like what is the best relationship you can define? We'll define that on like next week's topic is going to be relationships. So right, if we have this relationship wellness fitness continuum, we start here, brand new relationship, and we work our way all the way to the best relationship. Once you're here, you have to go backwards to get to the shittiest part of the relationships. That's when like people are married, they're in love, so happy, they have 7 kids, they have sex all the time, and then they go through this, and all of a sudden they stop having sex, and they stop looking at each other, and somebody got fat, and somebody did this, and all of a sudden we get back to this end where you fucking hate each other. If you don't ever get to this point, which is like I watch you poop, and if you couldn't wipe your ass, I'd help you.
Yeah.
And if you never get to that point, well, if you get to that point, what's that mean for the relationship? Like if you sit in the middle of the relationship, it's not bad, but do you think you should marry that person?
I don't know.
Like if you're not comfortable with like,
there's also steps too, right? Like we were talking about it, right? Like when you first meet someone, it's weird to sit in silence. So you probably don't do it, right?
Yeah, I agree. Because it's like awkward.
First hanging out with someone, you're not going to like do a road trip and not say anything.
Yeah, me and Kendall talked a lot, or I talked a lot on the first one. But yesterday we were in the car and it was like, there'd be moments when both of us, you could just tell are tired and we would just be like driving. I wanted to buy a chameleon. You guys almost told me no. But again, then we just sat in the car and we were quiet and there was no problem. But like a month ago would have been different.
Yeah.
It would have been like, I would have been like, so
you would have came running home and been like, dude, she fucking hates me.
But going through the relationship, let's say you were thinking you and Trill. So
the Trill is not the big spoon, Gazzo. She hates being the big spoon. It's actually annoying. Sometimes you just want to be the little spoon. I think it's less work to be the little spoon. Because
no, I'm curious. I just want to hear what you were saying, like you and Trill, like you fart, what else do you do that you would say pushes you to that end of the wheel?
I think to get more to or to fit or whatever it is, awesome relationship, we need to work on
we'll call it soulmate.
Our conflict resolution. And I think conflict is a lot of the chunk of that little continuum that you said. Like there's experiencing conflict and then there's handling conflict and there's getting better at handling conflict. And I think like that's where Trill and I have progress to make. Sorry, Trill, if you're watching live, but I think you would agree.
She just texted you. You might be getting yelled at. He's getting yelled at. She's yelling at him.
We can't say that on the chat. It's not a bad thing, but
it's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate.
Why couldn't you just say it in the comments? Sure, I'd love for you to just jay up in the StreamYards. We got a couple more minutes. No one sent Vince the link.
Oh yeah, I was going to. Then we got segued into
that. Let me post this. I posted on Instagram. Nobody's clicked it yet. Now I'm pissed. This is last week. So that's all I text them is just StreamYard links.
You opened my eyes though. Like you made a good thing out of an odd thing.
What?
Like yeah, that's a good step. Like if you have never seen your spouse poop, like and they get sick, how weird is it going to be for you to like change their diaper?
I don't think weird. I think just seeing who did it. I think it would be like along the lines of, can you check the private chat, dude? Like, you're not good at this. I should be in charge. Matt's just not good at being the second tech guy. I was just thinking
about this.
Going through it, right? If you here's another situation. Chat, if this is too inappropriate for you, I want you to leave. Okay. Right. If you're in a relationship, and we'll go down both ways. If you can't help somebody wipe their ass, and I'm not saying you're sick, it's just like maybe you just don't want to. Or if you're showering and they don't want to, you have to help wash them, or fucking think about this. What if a woman and their tampon gets stuck? Would you help them get it out? Yeah, you would. There'd be other people that wouldn't. I would help, but other people would be like, no, I'm not fucking touching that. Go to the hospital. Right? Yeah. People are fucking uncomfortable in those situations. And I don't know. I'm not saying
just wondering.
I'm not saying it's a bad relationship. I'm just saying I think you should fix it.
So if you're doing it and I'm curious about this too, since we're on the subject. If you're doing it with somebody and you do the Eric Morris pull-out method and you make a mess,
Yeah.
is it gentlemanly to clean it up, or is it weird?
G said he would help with his Darth Vader suit on. You're a fucking villain, dude. I think it's gentlemanly.
Have you ever done that?
Like helped?
Like cleaned it up?
Yeah.
Like got a towel and like
Yeah.
cleaned up the area.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you said, it's more respectful.
Not anymore, but maybe that's why I'm falling back on.
Yeah, you're also on the wellness continuum. We need a whiteboard. Next week we'll draw it up. We'll have it, dial it up for you. But I agree. But defining the healthy part of a relationship, what would you I agree, Trill. I agree. Get in here. I agree. There's a big
Do you
part.
think Rick does it? We need to fucking send him the link.
It's obvious a personal issue. I would agree. It is a personal issue. Are you comfortable? Do you not like the relationship? Like there's got to be things going through your mind where it's like, I'm not into this because of why. Or like, I don't feel comfortable around this person. Why? Like I feel like really strong connection with people. And if I don't, that's like a red flag. I don't feel that with a lot of people. Like I'm saying, like friends and everybody, like in general, like I talk to some people and I'm like, I just don't fucking vibe with this person and I fucking hate it. And it's like at the restaurant, the gym, work, all those things. It like goes through your mind all the time. It happens to everybody, but it's like then when it does, so like when you roll into a relationship status and you're dating somebody or thinking about marrying somebody or married to somebody and all those things. And if you're going through in my mind, if you don't feel like if they asked you to help with those things, I think there's potentially some underlying issue, right, Joe?
I think it goes back to trust too. So like if you were on a road trip with Kennedy and you shit yourself by accident, completely just slipped.
Yeah.
And she was like, something smells like, would you tell her like I just shit myself? Or would that be too embarrassing and you don't trust her and you'd be like, this could ruin us?
No, 100%. I before I even were to shit, I would tell her like I'm gonna shit my pants and I'm being full on serious. Like we need to stop somewhere. Yeah. And then if I did shit, I have full confidence that she would help me clean it up. Yeah. I would be probably embarrassed and I'd probably bring it up a couple times. Be like, I fucking shit.
Trust though, right? Like
yeah.
Some people would like end that, or like you were saying, like if you've never experienced that, you might just end the relationship. Or tell everybody, right? That might be a secret moment.
Yeah. Well, some people would be like, I agree. Some people would end the relationship because they're grossed out.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast with Hunter McIntyre. That's the only reason I thought of this. And he was like out somewhere in France with his girlfriend at the time. And like he had a bad protein shake.
Yeah.
And, like, shit himself.
No way.
And they like just, laughed it off and she helped him clean it up.
But okay. So that being said, like to Trill's question, why in a relationship, if somebody shit themselves and they were like, you're fucking gross. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be around you. Like, that's disgusting. Like, I can't believe you did that. What's the issue there? Because there's something deeper, I think. I think it's more along the lines of like Trill saying, like, there's got to be a deeper issue.
Superficial is what the first thing I'm thinking of.
That like they're too good for that.
It's like a superficial relationship.
It's like not this perfect, ideal, like Instagram worthy relationship, right? Yeah. I don't know. Today's world is weird. Like some people might fucking thrive off that. Like they want to post it on TikTok. Like I help wipe my husband's ass.
Yeah.
Like
that's weird too.
Yeah, but people do that stuff. I don't know. Trill, any more comments? She keeps texting you. I'm kind of curious. She's like blowing your phone up. It's got to be inappropriate, right, G?
Yeah. She apparently was sleeping through our podcast, so I got out of the text.
She fucking fell asleep. But aside from that, you would help pull a tampon out if it got stuck. String gets lost, tampons in there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've, done other things in that area that weren't necessarily sexual.
Yeah. I would help too if I had to.
Do they get stuck?
Our podcast puts people to sleep. Girls, or maybe the way they care for us is superficial. So you think the way like I would care or Matt would care for a relationship is superficial? Dig into that a little bit. I'm confused. Kind of curious what you mean by that. You like
click the link.
Kendall, you're mute over there. You got nothing to say. Migs, are you out there? Nothing to say.
Link to Vince real quick.
Yeah, send it to him. He hasn't read it.
He's busy. It's day for our usual guests.
Yeah,
this is just a different kind of show.
Yeah, he hasn't read it. He doesn't give a shit. I don't have his location, so I can't check it. So this is the end, I guess. The end of the podcast.
Minutes.
Yeah, we like to wrap it up. So I know if it's super short. But maybe the chat is popping up, or maybe the way they care for you is superficial. Like maybe they care in a way that suits them and not you. So you think in the sense of, what does that even mean? I'm kind of confused.
Someone who wouldn't help, like maybe they would Yeah, she's talking about someone who wouldn't help. Maybe they care in a way that suits them and not you.
No, I mean, I think they're in the relationship solely for them.
Yeah.
Like they're not there to like help. So like there's deeper reasons. Yeah, I think she should be on. She likes to play devil's advocate usually, so she's good at this. Like not because it's not devil's advocate. She likes to ask like deeper thinking questions.
And seeing Gaz's comment, we could also talk about like talking about the porn you watch in the relationship too, because I think G kind of got into a little scuffle with Migs about that, where she kind of saw him as this pure person who's never seen a porn video in his life.
Who?
Wasn't the G? Remember when? He
He got yelled at because does everybody in the chat know who Sasha Grey is? G, don't pull it up. Yeah, just keep that. Like if you're interested, Google it. She's on Twitch. That's appropriate, but don't go ahead and like put it in the chat. We'll get arrested. Trill definitely needs to be on the podcast. Very insightful next week when I'm not super sick. What the hell? My myself. G. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, it was funny. What's the most interesting thing you've done for the relationship?
Most interesting.
Yeah, that you wouldn't have like ever done. Like, did you have to like fucking wipe throw up off of her? Go somewhere with her? To do anything? Did you have to ever wipe her ass? No.
I mean, I had to show her my hemorrhoids.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a big step.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Not the most comfortable moment.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the weirder things that I know of is very similar. Kane got a tattoo on his ass, and Ash had to shave his butthole.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if I should share that on here, but
well, it's too late now.
But it's like interesting because it's like they were comfortable with each other in that sense. It's like Vince is a sicko. He would probably do anything and everything because he doesn't think anything's gross. G's always comfortable. Is this broken? I'm lost. I'm reading the chat kosher? Backwards.
Is this kosher?
Oh. Okay, good. Content is key. Yeah, this is good, valuable shit.
We'll clip some of this.
How long did it take you to get to that point in the relationship with Trill?
A long time, but like I said, I felt like it was more about like, I guess trust is the only word I can think of.
So let's go rapid fire questions.
Like I don't want to just show my hemorrhoids off, and like if that was gonna freak her out.
Month 1, would you have done it?
No.
Month 2?
No.
How long did it take?
Jeez.
A couple of years in.
Farting took a while.
Holy shit! Why though? Because I feel like
I think Trill was more of the one to lead that front with her like nasty Korean farts.
Yeah, with the kimchi smell. Yeah,
I remember joking with her about how women didn't fart,
and she just started ripping ass. Yeah. So she was probably more comfortable than you were. Would you call yourself nervous? Introverted or extroverted?
Extroverted.
For sure. I don't know about that.
But nervous depending on new things. Like Birdie, I was nervous.
Yeah, you were nervous. Yeah.
And that was something like I thought I knew.
Yeah. Well, I think you do know. I think those barriers get broken down though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you, in a moment, you're like, I should know this. I don't want to be like embarrassed. But I think that's key. So a couple months in for you to start farting. What about like your eating habits or like teeth brushing and oral hygiene and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm really good with that stuff, so I don't think it's really an issue. I'm getting better, dude. I will say though, I haven't had a cavity, which that's another episode I want to do about the dentist and if it's bullshit or not.
We could. We know some dental friends. Dentists.
Well, that might offend them.
Yeah, that's fine. Get the fuck in here. But it's like Aaron said, we might offend some people. I don't fucking care. It's not intentional. It's just our opinions. And if you don't like our opinions, maybe we shouldn't be friends.
But I don't think I was ever like to Trill, like, I don't brush my teeth. I think she just studies the toothbrush because it's an electric one.
Well, I just stare at people's teeth. Like, you know how Aaron stares at people's boobs?
Yeah.
I stare at people's teeth. And it's no like bad intentions, keeping it real. Yeah, you got to keep it fucking real.
Is that a box for you? Now we're talking about relationships in boxes.
Yeah.
That's a box. So
it's a box. Like if they have bad breath, it's like, do you brush your teeth? Yes or no? Morning breath is like a normal thing. Like that's not something I would judge anybody for. It's like, hey, I'm not going to fucking kiss you in the morning. Go brush your teeth. If it's not bad, it's like whatever. And there's also like a part of me where it's like, if I like that person enough, it's like part of it doesn't like bother me. But oral hygiene.
Don't tell them, I'm assuming.
I'll fucking tell them.
I tell Trill, like sometimes she gets this weird sickly breath.
Yeah, you always talk
about
this.
And it smells the whole room up.
I'll throw up. I'd puke.
I think it's because she has like tonsil issues.
Kimchi. It's gotta be. I'd fucking throw up. I just heard Jill laugh, I think. Chat. Just kidding.
G's got a good question. That could be another episode. Why
do we apply boxes to relationships? Why do we apply boxes to relationships? I mean, I know some people that we could throw in here that would ask.
Yeah.
It's probably
like, why is height a box? I still don't get that.
well, I think it comes down to
dominance and submission.
no, I don't think anything with that. Maybe I think the bigger piece is confidence on the other individual. Why is age a box? Because it comes down to confidence issues, or like Kendall had a problem with my age.
Age,
If anybody wants to know, Kendall hated that I was younger.
but like, I mean, if you think about it like this, 51-year-old with a 21-year-old, like,
yeah,
I mean, they're just not.
but
Like the wisdom of a 51-year-old comparing with a 21-year-old who's newer in
Yeah.
their life, they're like ready to rapidly change. They don't even know who they are in
Yeah.
life. Like, I could get that.
yeah,
Height's a little bit weird because it's just like, is that just a stereotypical thing that we fall
that we have to.
subjective
A male has to be taller than the females.
Yeah.
Usually, I read that's what we're talking about. Well, I think for the age thing, the people around us are like G just said, let her get a sugar daddy. But the issue is like the other 50-year-olds are going to be either jealous or like, this guy's a fucking scum dating. It's like my daughter. Like that's what it comes down to for these people. And I think that's where it's like the outsiders talk. And if somebody lets that bother them, it's because of the outside influence. But then the other way around, it's like sometimes it could just be weird, or it could be associated, or it's like you said, the wisdom. It's like, how can a 56-year-old relate to a 21-year-old? They can't.
Yeah.
Like at all. Let's be real. Like the way they partied back when they were 21 is completely different than how people do it now. Everything is completely different. The way that girl dresses versus how when they were 21 is different. Like Victoria's Secret wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, this 56-year-old is seeing like what a 21-year-old who does CrossFit looks like.
Yeah.
It's like very different from from what they used to do.
How did Matt party when he was 21?
Cigarettes and gross shit like that. But I think people put boxes around relationships because of personal beliefs, maybe, or personal
I
values.
mean, I think that's what you should do. Is I guess like we looked up earlier, pull up your values and be like, does this person help me fit my values and beliefs?
Yeah, and that's
Do people actually do that in practice? Probably not.
Yeah, they definitely don't. But like
looks usually take over.
Boxes go in because of confidence. Like I'm not confident enough in myself, so now these boxes. And if that person, all these outside influences, maybe it's going to bring me down. I agree with you. You should be dating somebody based off of your values.
Like we interviewed Rick, and one of his boxes were nice.
Yeah, it's that it is. It's not a fucking thing. It's like what my nice versus your nice might be different. And like, what would you define nice as?
Yeah.
Like, how would you say would you say Trill's nice?
I mean, I think a lot of people are nice.
Nice,
yeah. Nice.
Well, there's also a difference between nice and kind.
Yeah.
Niceness is different than kindness, and kindness is different than niceness.
Another episode.
Yeah, a whole different fucking shit. Back in 1970 or 67, yeah, it's like Vince back in the day. Like you think, like I don't know what Vince would even do now. Like, that was old. Like when he was 21, it was fucking 88.
That's true.
Yeah, like that's way back in the day. CrossFit wasn't even a thing.
All right, chat.
Yeah, we gotta go. We're going to the farmers market. It was great having you. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 500.
Yeah, click that little subscribe thing. You'll get notifications when the next episode is. Also, we've got a new Instagram.
Yeah, follow that. Nobody
live.
Fucking
Our
link.
tech guy's gonna be doing clips. We're gonna pay him $3 a clip.
Yeah.
So the more clips, the more money he makes.
Yep, exactly. It's all based off of that shit. So it's great having you guys. GG's. End the stream, dude. End it.
Yeah, press end now.
Like, subscribe, and follow the Nobo podcast right below. Does that make sense, guys?
Did he end it?